When I first studied deep-sea animals, I was sure they must be incredibly strong. They aren't. In fact, they're soft. From the twilight zone, midnight zone, the abyss zone, to trenches, pressure never stops. It presses on every cell, every second. So evolution didn't build armor, it removed it. Most deep-sea animals have soft bodies, weak bones, and no air-filled spaces. When I realized this, I honestly couldn't believe it. Pressure can't crush what isn't rigid. So instead of resisting the deep, life became part of it. After studying these adaptations, the camouflage, the survival strategies, the way life finds food in total darkness, I am sure of one thing. Evolution in the deep ocean is not desperate, it is intelligent. Tonight, join me as I descend into the deep sea to uncover how these animals live, hunt, adapt, and surviving where sunlight dies. I am Williams, and you are watching Insane Evolution. Every second breath you take comes from the ocean, not forests, not trees, but from a thin layer of water only 200 meters deep. And if it disappears, life on Earth collapses. This layer looks calm from above, but below the surface, it's a battlefield, a factory of oxygen, and the foundation of every ocean creature, from plankton to whales. This is the sunlight zone. The sunlight zone is the top layer of the ocean. It starts at the surface and ends about 200 meters down, where sunlight fades into darkness. Everything below depends on what happens here. Here's the strange part. The most powerful force in the ocean is something you can't even see. Tiny plants floating in the water. They're called phytoplankton. Each one is smaller than a grain of sand, but together they produce more oxygen than all the rainforests combined. Phytoplankton are not the rulers here. They are food. Phytoplankton are eaten by zooplankton. In the sunlight zone, life depends on photosynthesis, the engine of the ocean. But this zone ends quickly. The deep sea begins where light ends. At around 200 meters below the surface, sunlight disappears completely. Photosynthesis, the foundation of almost all life on Earth, stops. Here, plants cannot grow, algae cannot survive, energy itself becomes rare. We are now entering the twilight zone, also known as the mesopelagic zone. For millions of years, scientists believed this zone was lifeless. They were wrong, because evolution does not need comfort, it only needs time and pressure. The twilight zone is a vast hidden world, home to the largest animal migration on Earth. The twilight zone lies between 200 and 1,000 meters below the ocean's surface. Here, sunlight is weak and blue. Red, yellow, and green light vanish. Temperatures drop rapidly. Pressure increases rapidly. To survive here, animals must become invisible, manipulate light, hunting without being seen. This is evolution at its most extreme. In a world with little light, the best camouflage is to disappear completely. The glass squid has a nearly transparent body. Light passes through it. Predators see nothing but water. Only its eyes remain visible. So evolution solved that with dark pigments surround the eyes, making them appear like empty shadows. In the twilight zone, invisibility is survival. Looking up from below, predators see faint light from the surface. Any dark shape becomes a target. The lanternfish solves this with a miracle of biology. Along its belly are bioluminescent organs called photophores. They emit soft light that matches the brightness above. From below, the fish cast no shadow at all. This is called counter-illumination, one of the most advanced camouflage strategies on Earth. Some animals don't hide to escape. They hide to kill. The dragonfish is a nightmare of the twilight zone. It produces red bioluminescent light, the color of the most deep-sea mammals cannot see. To its prey, the dragonfish is invisible. To the dragonfish, its prey glows. With needle-like teeth in a sudden strike, the hunt is over before it begins. In darkness, vision itself becomes a weapon. Every night, the twilight zone empties. Billions of animals rise towards the surface to feed. The largest daily migration on the planet happens in this zone. The bristlemouth, one of Earth's most numerous vertebrates, hunts during this migration. At dawn, everything sinks back into darkness. This movement avoids visual predators, conserves energy, and controls the global carbon cycle. The twilight zone doesn't just hunt, it moves the planet. These animals regulate climate, feed surface ecosystems, and store carbon in the deep ocean. Yet we've explored less than 10% of this zone. Most species here remain unnamed, unseen, unprotected. If the twilight zone collapses, the surface follows. Between light and darkness, between seen and unseen, the twilight zone thrives. A world of ghosts, mirrors, and living shadows. Perfectly adapted, perfectly fragile, and still almost completely unknown. Below 1,000 meters, sunlight disappears completely. No dawn, no dusk, no shadows. This is the midnight zone, the abyssopelagic realm, a place freezing cold and eternal darkness. Life flourish here, not by chance, but by extreme evolution. The midnight zone begins at 1,000 meters and extends beyond 4,000 meters deep. Total darkness, temperatures near freezing. Pressure is hundreds of times greater than the surface. Almost no food. To survive, animals evolved bodies that waste no energy, detect the slightest movement, use light as a weapon. This is evolution pushed to its limits. In complete darkness, camouflage means control of light. The anglerfish carries a glowing lure filled with bioluminescent bacteria. It doesn't chase prey, it invites it. A curious fish approaches the light and disappears forever. In the midnight zone, light is not guidance, it is a trap. Some animals absorb light instead of reflecting it. The viperfish has ultra-black skin, absorbing over 99% of light. Even bioluminescence fails to reveal it. Only its teeth betray its presence until it's too late. This isn't hiding, it's erasing existence. Food is rare in the midnight zone, so predators evolved. Enormous mouths, stretchable stomachs, slow metabolisms. The gulper eel can swallow prey larger than its own body. It may eat once and survive for months. Here, patience is deadlier than speed. Over millions of years, evolution shaped these creatures. Soft bodies to resist pressure, weak bones instead of strong ones, huge eyes or none, slowed aging and metabolism. The Greenland shark is a deep-sea vertebrate known to live over 400 years, making it the longest living vertebrate on Earth. In the midnight zone, efficiency replaces strength. Every calorie is life. Most life here survives on marine snow, dead plankton, waste, and falling remains. When a whale dies, it becomes an entire ecosystem. Its body begins a journey 3 kilometers down into a world starving for life. The impact is violent. Sharks, hagfish, creatures without mercy arrive from nowhere. Tons of flesh disappear in days. After the flesh is gone, the real insanity begins. Anaerobic bacteria break down lipids inside the bones, produce hydrogen sulfide, which is toxic to most life. But evolution turns poison into power, and life adopts. Zombie worms with no mouth, no eyes, drill into bone itself. They exist only because whales die. For decades, one dead giant becomes a living world. In the deep ocean, death is not the end. It is insane evolution. Life here is built on death from above. The midnight zone is not isolated. It is connected to the entire ocean. "4,000 meters below the surface, pressure would crush a human instantly. No sunlight, no plants, almost no food. And yet, life survives. This is the abyss zone, a place evolution should have abandoned, but it didn't. The abyssopelagic zone stretches from 4,000 meters to 6,000 meters below sea level. Total darkness, temperatures near freezing, pressure over 400 surface level, extreme food scarcity. Only the most efficient organisms in Earth's history survive here. Deep-sea anglerfish, abyssal greniers, are silent predators in this zone. Giant amphipods, relatives of tiny beach bugs, evolved into armored scavengers the size of a human hand. They smell death from kilometers away. When food falls, fish, seals, even whales, they swarm. Thousands of jaws tearing at once. Their bodies are built for extremes. Slow metabolism, hard exoskeletons, the ability to survive months, sometimes years without food. In the deep sea, being giant isn't power, it's survival. This is not a monster. This is insane evolution. In the abyss, chasing prey is wasteful. Waiting is smarter. After the abyss zone, the ocean descends into something even more extreme. The trenches, the deepest habitats on Earth. In the trenches, life survives on marine snow, even thinner than in the abyss, fallen carcasses funneled into trenches, chemosynthetic bacteria living in sediments. Trenches act like food traps, collecting organic matter from above. Life here evolves in extreme isolation. Amphipods grow unusually large. Snailfish develop gelatinous bodies to resist pressure. Microbes alter cell membranes to avoid crushing. Bones are softer. Muscles are weaker but ultra efficient. Survival here favors flexibility, not strength. Let's take a real example of the Western Pacific Ocean Trench, also called the Mariana Trench. This is the deepest point on Earth. Pressure here is enough to crush steel, temperature nearly freezing. Yet life exists. Haddle snailfish, giant amphipod, xenophyophores, bacteria that feed on chemicals, not sunlight. life persists or physics shouldn't. The deep sea is Earth's largest habitat, yet we've explored less than 5% of it. Every dive reveals new species, new behaviors, new rules of life. These creatures are not monsters. They are masterpieces of evolution, shaped by darkness, pressure, and time. And the deeper we go, the more we realize Earth is still full of secrets.